All right. You ready, bro? You good?
Yeah.
Are you good to go?
Well, what all do I need to do to be prepared?
You just need to be ready to come with some fruit, bro. There's some transparency for the people. I'm excited, man. We had a good lift this morning, so I'm ready to go, bro. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're already recording, so we'll go ahead and quick intro. What's good, everyone that's listening, wherever you're listening? Ooh, I'm hyped. We got my guy here. It's Tuesday. It actually is Tuesday. I don't think we'll release this today. We might actually release this evening. Shoot, why not? Tuesday, February 9th, 9:37 a.m. Central Time. Agent Talk Podcast. It's hashtag Stock Tip Tuesday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we are here with my guy, Andrew Williamson. Real quick, not gonna go into the full story. Had an episode on Drew. Y'all can go way back into the Chronicles.
Yeah,
had Drew on here before. One of my first interviews, actually. One of my first, maybe second or third interview I did on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, y'all can tap into that. But with it being Stock Tip Tuesday, Drew is someone that has really just grown with me. It's kind of been in sync a little bit. It feels like in regards to, investing and trying to find our way with, finance, even when, financial discipline, budgeting, concept of money, relationship with money, all other things.
Mm-hmm. Relationship.
Yeah. So just felt it was good. It was time to get my guy on here. Just to chop it up for a little bit for the listeners that are tapped in. Drew, how we doing today,
Joshua?
bro?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I appreciate you having me on again. It's always a pleasure and an honor. We've been friends for a while, so I love everything that you're doing with your podcast, with your agency, your family, man. It's an honor to do life with you, man. It really is. It's been awesome to see your journey, see your progression. And like I said, what you're doing with this podcast as well, too, just being extremely transparent with your journey, your financial journey. I'm open up as well with my, relationship with investing and everything like that. It's been quite the journey. It really has. But fruit all along the way, and it's progress, not perfection, as one of my pastors has said to me. So,
yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Love it. Okay, so for the listeners, we'll just jump right into it. So we'll paint the picture. Let's say, it's 2015. Okay. We just graduated. So we walked the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Jimmy, DK, our class, and then you stayed at Vanderbilt another year. So Drew went to Vandy together. Yep. Your degree wasn't econ too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was economics.
You was econ gang with me. Hey.
Struggle bus, but yeah, we made it.
We made it, man. Okay, so you got your degree. So just paint the picture, okay? Because a lot of our viewers are going to be, even people that take my class, they're, 19, 20, 21, 22, college age, most. Not all, but most are in that realm. Getting a degree in econs, can you set the stage for people before, because you didn't get into investing at Vanderbilt, did you? Did you start investing at Vandy?
Just began to dabble in it a little bit. I had already, downloaded, I think Robinhood came out around that time. Began to just do, buying some, small shares of stocks, just really playing around with it at this point.
Okay, so this was about 22 years old, we'll say 21, 22.
Yep,
we'll say kind of started dabbling in. What background did you have kind of going into investing? Like, did you have any upbringing with being taught about investing? Was there any courses at Vandy that prepared you? Like, what was your mindset going into investing? Did you have any preparation?
No really preparation at all outside of, what you might learn through like movies or, watching like a YouTube video or something.
Dude, what you said through movies, bro?
Movies, Wolf of Wall Street, something like that. But it does not work like that. I quickly learned that it does not work like that at all. There is no like quick hit, if you do hit quick, it's gonna be gone quick.
Mm-hmm.
Believe that. But no, man, not a whole lot of background at all. I'd say I took a finance class. Then there was a finance class that I did take at Vandy, which kind of gives you a little background just on some of the like financial markets, how like some of the banks operate within the government, and um, just like in the private sector as well, like that too. But nothing that really was equipping for like if I wanted to start investing, I didn't learn anything like in school that I was like, okay,
Mm.
like I can like apply this and immediately have success within the market.
Gotcha.
Should have just been reading like books by Warren Buffett and just doing everything that he did. But
Gotcha.
I had to get some weeds out first.
What was the journey like when you first started investing? Like, paint the picture, bro. You don't have to go too far into detail, but like, for first year or say, like, what were the early lessons like? Do you have any stories that are memorable for you? Just I guess what were some impactful moments that have led you? Cause shoot, you just said, I mean, and you 21, you 28 now. That's 7 years,
Yeah,
7-year journey.
yeah.
So that's a good amount of your life. Shoot, you've been investing. Shoot, that's 25% of our lives we've been investing. A quarter of our life we've
Almost.
been
Yeah,
investing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
almost.
So, what was the journey like for you? Like, is there anything that
Um,
you want people to come away with?
yeah, yeah. Definitely one of like a journey of it was humbling. It really is. It really was, especially when I really began to um like make a decision to really began to invest. um like that's when I spent that time in the NFL. I got some money. Obviously I was like, okay, so I actually have some money to like really begin to put out to the market and try to have an increase.
Mm.
But I didn't do a whole lot. Like that 2016, early 2017. I was still kind of just buying a few shares here and there. I wasn't really confident about putting you know my money out there in the market because I quickly learned what you put out there is subject to wherever the
Get
market takes
gone,
you.
boy.
Exactly.
Subject
So
to get gone.
yes, yes. So I mean, I started just to buy a few stocks here and there, and then had some small success, nothing like substantial, no really substantial gain until it was latter part of 2017. This is when I had went ahead and got let go from the Colts, and then I was really trying to figure out if I wanted to continue to pursue ball, and really just trying to figure out where I was at, and I had some money in this company called Helios and Matheson. I'm sure people probably remember Movie Pass, but I got caught up in that whole fiasco. Had some money in it, and then it just kind of skyrocketed, it exploded, and so I made pretty decent gain off of it. And I was just like, oh wow, what I mean? My confidence was up. I was feeling good. I made a play. So I was like, okay, like I can see myself doing this, because I think I had sort of okay that happened, and I think I took some money out. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep riding this movie pass train. Seems like a great concept. I love going to the movies. I was like, I'm a fan. I can ride out on this. So I think 2018, as I move out here to Dallas, I'm still kind of training for football to see if an opportunity comes around, and also just beginning to explore further with investing. This is something now that I'm like checking on like a daily basis. You know what I mean? Just following along. Movie Pass, a couple other companies as well too. But I wasn't trying to like create a life around just investing. It was something just passive. Um, but I think what I got tripped up on, and because I ended up getting humbled in 2018 because I made a pretty good, like substantial amount of money on Movie Pass, and I began to like really that gave me the confidence to put more money into other companies.
Mm.
And what happened was because I was also just spending a lot of money. I wasn't living very frugal with my money. I was spending a lot. I kind of still had the mindset and the what is it called? When just the mindset of having money, like money was going to be coming in like I was making it before, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? I was still trying to figure out what I was doing. I was Ubering during the time, so I didn't have no you know uh reoccurring income coming in outside of just like small jobs here and there. So I went ahead and really rode the wave of the Helios and Matheson, and I ended up getting burned. And riding that train all the way down to its demise, and ended up losing a very significant amount of money in that. So yeah, that was humbling for me. But it's also a great lesson. It really was a great lesson. You have to be. What I learned from it was that really do got to do a decent amount of diligence and figure out like, hey, is this company's business plan practical? Like, does it make sense? Because I had a conversation. I was at a party actually. It was like a small get together, and it was this was a friend of somebody that I knew. He ended up, I think, working in finance or some kind of investments position. And I ended up asking. It came up in conversation, and I asked him about Helios and Matheson Movie Pass, and he was just like, "Yeah, I don't think it's a viable business plan. Like, it doesn't make sense to me." And I'm just like, "What the heck is this guy talking about, man? Like, I done made all this money already off this. Like, I'm gonna continue. Like, this makes a whole lot of sense. People love movies. They're gonna continue to go to movies." But sure enough, man, like that company, like they burnt through too much cash. So like they didn't have the I guess the revenue or the money that they needed in order to continue out with the business plan. So like it was a learning process, and then I think all throughout 2019, I ended up in part of 2018, I ended up getting a job working at Honda, and then all throughout 2019, I didn't invest at all, bro. I was just like, I'm done with this. I got hurt. Yeah. But at the same time, too, I would still like look, from a distance. I still have my account, so all the companies that I had exposure to, I was still kind of watching and monitoring, and actually ended up taking a class also too. Sorry, this is a little long-winded, but trying to give you an overview of my experience. But I went to an investing class. This was, I think, mid part of 2018. I believe I told you about this. Mm-hmm. It was like a 2 or 3 day class on it was like Forex trading or something like that. Well, they trade the company trades Forex, but they're related to all kinds of markets. And basically, they kind of explained to me was the difference between like a retail investor and like the banks. And pretty much it's the banks that actually move the market. They're the ones that are dictating price, whereas the casual retail investor, you don't really have a whole lot of influence in I guess the price of a stock or a share of a stock. And it really kind of opened up my mind to just understand that it's the banks that really control like price, and it's like the casual retail investor, you kind of have to be in alignment with what they're doing. So like completely tune out with what you believe. You got to be in alignment with what they're doing, because they're the ones that are going to dictate price. So like it just kind of like made me kind of like submit all the things that I thought. It's like, hey, let me get in alignment with what they're doing, because they're the ones making the money.
That's good. Yeah.
But yeah, bro. So yeah, I didn't invest throughout 2019, but I was kind of just looking at a distance. And then midway of 2020, I began to get back into it, and once that market hit down, that was kind of prime time to like get back in, and because the market it's gonna continue to go up. It always will.
That's good, man. That's good. So. Hey, that was so much.
I know that was long with it, man.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
Yeah, that was solid. But it's just so good because I remember. So for those that don't know, basically me and Drew have grown in regards to investing and whatnot. It's really, like I told him, really instant. Kind of simultaneously.
Yeah.
I want to say You probably said to me is after you sent me the strangest secret video,
Mm.
uh, which
You know,
if
it's like
you
latter
listen,
part
God,
2017. That was like 2017.
yeah, that was 2017. It was in it might have been no, it was 2016. It was at the end of 2016. It was in or beginning somewhere around that time, regardless.
Mm.
But yeah, it was around that time you sent me that Stranger Secret video. Which, if you're listening to this, by the way, you should go listen to that video and then come
Yes,
back to this video. Um,
absolutely.
but regardless, you sent me, I think, this video by Tony Robbins, and it was the 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom, and he had
Mm.
did an interview with Lewis Howes, and I know I had watched it with Jimmy and DK at their apartment, and I
Mm-hmm.
really like tuned in and I kind of paid attention to it. And I don't know if you remember this, but Jimmy had said something in the group chat. Oh, this was that year, so 5 some years ago, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like this. It was like this typed out, written out statement or something that on Ballers that the Rock's characters, Spencer Strasmore, had like said or something about his dad with a CEO and it went to talk to the CEO. And long story short, the whole point of this text that Jimmy had said was, why not me? Like, why
Mm.
not us? And we had started kind of like
I remember
speaking
that.
on you.
I
Yeah, we
remember
had
that.
started. I remember, but I was like driving. It was like all happening at one time, and I remember I was driving, and I was just thinking like, dang, like why not? Like, why can't we be the ones that make money in the market and
Mm.
gain wealth? And I read Tony Robbins' book, and so it was cool. It's been cool to see, like you said, the progression because I've taken my fair share of hits. As well. And I've been there while you taking your hits, and I've, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Kind of seeing each
So,
other's journey, and it's like, oh man,
yeah,
oh dang, I got
yeah,
you.
bro.
Me too, man.
Yeah, bro. So it's good, and it's humbling. You know what I'm saying? We've had the big wins and the roller coasters. We won't get too far into the stories and things of that nature.
Mm.
Uh,
But no, I love what
what
you
would?
said right there, man. Just the why not me, and it just goes back to like the reformation of the mind and just truly believing,
Mm,
like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I can be successful in this too, but there's got to be that willingness to like step into that territory, just gaining exposure to it, and it's experience is the greatest teacher.
what? Why do you think then? Because I have my belief, but why do you think? What do you think is the number one factor of why more people are not invested at all? Like why what is the reason? Why are there so many people maybe our age that maybe you come across, why are they not invested? Why
Yeah.
is that? Or someone that's double our age not invested besides, the simple plan with the retirement with your business or your company that you work with. Why do you think more people are not kind of, I guess, exposing themselves to that? Because there's a variety
Um,
of reasons. So I'm just curious what
yeah,
your thoughts are.
I think it centers around like fear, you know what I mean, of like losing your money because I mean it's hard worked money, you know what I mean, or regardless, like your money is what you use to buy things and have resources for yourself. So like when you don't necessarily have like any experience with like gaining interest or like compound interest or anything like that, it's kind of like
Mm.
out of sight, out of mind, you know. And until you really experience that, um, like I think that fear is just always like will be there. You know what I mean? Because like the money is out of your hands. You know what I mean? And it's subject to whatever happens in the market. But there's got to be like I guess, a belief in the knowing of like the markets can continue to rise. You know what I mean? Especially if you play the long term game. Like that's what ultimately like if you're invested, you should invest for the long term game. That's just the best way to do it. Proof is in the pudding. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time. That's what he's done. But I mean, there's other ways that you can like do so as well too. You can play like short-term games, like swing traders and stuff like that. But it takes exposure to it. I guess to really see, how fruitful it can be and how beneficial it can be to obtain and accruing wealth. So I think
Well,
but I think that's what's so great about what you're doing now. It's like you're exposing people to your experience and other people's experience, so they can kind of have kind of have some kind of proximity, even if it's just not them doing it themselves. They can have proximity, um, with somebody else's experience and be like, okay, like it worked for them. You know, it might give them the confidence to try it out themselves. But yeah, I think it definitely just comes down to just the fear of, you know, potential loss. You know, and it's a risk.
Mm.
It's a risk. It definitely is.
That's
But
good.
you gotta risk it for the biscuit.
That's funny. I heard that somebody said that yesterday. I think I heard it maybe on the radio or something. But I know Warren Buffett states, I believe it was him that he has a quote, and he was saying when it comes to investing, he says it's not risk if you know what you're doing. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
good.
And
That's really good.
I know there's been times like when you go, kind of, and that's why I tell people because I do think a lot of people are fearful and like, even because you hit it on the head. It's hard earned money. It's hard earned. It doesn't matter if it's $50, $5,000. It's the fact that you earn it, you spend labor, time, whatever it might be for it. People have a hard time partying with their money, especially if it's different if you're at the store because then you see what you're getting back. Putting your money in the market, it's not that instant, mindset that we have. It doesn't satisfy that. It can if you get into, some of the short-term trading, but I take a big L's doing that as well. But I do think one thing to mention that you kind of talk about it for people is, or a question I would say more so is, when did the mindset come? Okay, I need to start focusing on the long term because some of the people, like I said, that are listening, maybe they're even just our age. They're like, I can worry about investing, when I'm 40, when I'm 45, 50, whatever it might be. Why do you think that someone that that does have the opportunity, that is interested, that's been thinking about it, that maybe is in college, whatever it could be, why do you think they should go like really start investing for the long term as opposed to that short term mindset? Or excuse me, what got you into thinking more so on the long term with investing?
Well, I'd say definitely my faith, man. Absolutely. Because it made me want to be so much more purposeful and intentional about how I'm like utilizing my resources and handling my finances. And I really didn't begin to see like fruit from like my investing until I began to honor God with my money. Just straight up.
That's good, man.
It's all God, man. It really is. So like once I began to like put him first and was like, okay, God, like this ain't my money, like this is your money. And then he began to, okay, like you're gonna learn this, you know what I mean? I'm gonna teach you this. I'm gonna like it'll be better if you, go about and utilize your money this way. You know what I mean? I began to really like have an ear to try to understand, like, okay, what are some like best practices? Like how should I handle my money? Like how am I spending that is not currently fruitful for me right now? It really is a submissal to self, and like in a given way, it was like, okay, God, like I want to be built using my finances and resources to build your kingdom. So then it was just like, okay, I got you. So once I began to honor God with my money and like really try to like shift my ways and thoughts of how I view money to align it with God's, that's when I really began to like see fruitfulness and like begin to see an increase, so to speak, of my own finances and just a progression in how I'm like handling my resources as well too. Because I mean, we're here on this earth to, as a believer, live and glorify God, and like we want to be here for other people, and we want to help other people. That's what it's all about. It's all about, loving your brother. First of all, loving God and loving other people. Like that's what the name of the game is. And, it really shouldn't be that easy. But like if you have that like foundation and mindset, you're going to be a little bit more intentional with how you, handle your resources. And then there's a bunch of scriptures that like, back it up as well too. I mean, parable of the talents, everybody, like a lot of people know that one. God gave one person, 10 shekels of gold, and he came back with 10 more. He gave one 5. He came back with 5 more. He gave one. He went out. This guy went out and hid the 1 shekel and came back, and God was just like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? Like, you didn't bring no interest. You know what I mean? There was no increase. He
No
kind
increase.
of shunned. Yeah, he shunned that. So it's like it's me trying to be a better steward and do more.
Don't preach now, bro.
Hey man, I that wasn't my plan coming on, but the Holy Spirit gonna move when He wants to. So,
Oh, that's good, man. Yeah, that's
and
good.
building legacy, man, building legacy. You wanna you know accrue wealth for not just yourself, but your family, but also like your kids as well too. So like,
Yeah,
it's good posture
that's
to
good,
have.
man. That's good, man. That's the one thing I wish, and I pray for people to have. I tell people is that long-term posture and perspective is so critical. Just because, like now, I have a child, so I think it's a bit easier for
Rome.
me. Like I think if you're to me, if you are a parent, you have a child, it's a no-brainer that you should be doing things with your finances that will benefit your child when they're your age. That to me, boom. But like if you're single and you have the opportunity, you are like getting a handicap. You're ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm trying to get there.
bro, to be able, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, in effect, okay,
True.
because there's marriage, and then you marry into a situation, whatever it is, with your wife, and then you have a child, which is so you have two levels of increase. To be not have a child and to not be married, prime opportunity, I believe, for someone. I'm speaking to my younger self here. Like, I wish I would have been doing this. Just like it's a no-brainer, I believe, to just try to expose yourself. And it goes back to, I think, even just the education, one, we're not taught. So I think that's another reason why there are not as many people that invest, is because it's not something that is promoted. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I didn't learn that. I went to at Vandy. I didn't learn that. You know what I'm saying? I learned it because you started sending me YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it really, and I mean, that's another thing, because, both of us, we can definitely ramble for sure. But I was just thinking, man, for me, there is no excuse. Kind of like Earl said in his video, and he was talking about like the 70s, 50s, or whatever time that was in. We're in a golden age. I really was thinking it's driving, because we'll talk about maybe our philosophies right now and what we're doing right now with our investments and whatnot. We'll get into some stock picks from Drew possibly later on, some companies he's eyeing. But we'll say that for the end. But I'm really just thinking, man, and I'm like, there's really no excuse to not take advantage of the resources that we have at hand. And I was just thinking, like, my account right now is doing, really pretty well, I would say. And maybe 60 to 70% of my portfolio is composed of companies that I found because of an article online, or someone said something on Twitter, or just word of mouth, Instagram, something, read something somewhere. And the ability to have the access to, like what you brought up earlier, to what the banks are doing, to what these bigger firms are doing, to what the hedge funds are doing. We have the knowledge at the tip of our fingertips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh,
it's like
one heck of a reason.
How do I start investing? Google it. Boom. And just go from there. Put it in the YouTube. Go from there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful that, when we got out of college, we were able to just kind of be given just some sort of light about it. And just, so yeah, definitely grateful for that. So here's a question, Neil. If someone is listening and they don't know where to start, they're just like, bro, investing what? Like, this is foreign to me, but I want to take step one. What is step one? What is step one for someone that wants to,
Step one? I mean, I'd ask in my circle of influence, I'd ask around and see who is investing and just start to have conversations about it. What is something that your friend might be doing, or a family member might be doing, and just start there. And then, I mean, second of all, I wouldn't put any amount of money out in the market that you weren't willing to lose. Definitely start small. And and it takes time, it takes experience. I mean, I'm no professional. I mean, I'm not. It's not. I can't give out no license or anything like that. I'm just going off straight my own experience and relationship with investing.
Yeah, that's good. I like what you said there about don't put anything into the market that you're not willing to lose.
Mm.
That's really good because that's something I have failed to do in the past,
Mm.
and I've
Me
been
too. Yeah.
sick about it. Okay. This is good, man. This is good. So, what is your philosophy like right now? I mean, I just want to make sure we're hitting on all corners. You went through the HMNY, so that's Movie Pass. Anyone that's listening, check it out, Google it. Just kind of, I research it because it was some like a lot of people use
Yeah.
Movie Pass.
Then they had a lawsuit, man, as well too.
Really, huh?
I think there was just bad representation, in my
Right.
opinion. But I'm not gonna
Okay.
speak on that. I ain't
I got you.
all washed.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, definitely Google HMNY. I know we were in the crypto space for a while. We won't get too far into that. I do
Yeah.
have an episode. Yeah, we was in there for a little bit. I'm still in there, by the way. Uh, Probably
I
drop
had
an
a little
episode
bit,
later on it.
but I had like a little. I had sent some to I think my mom like a while back, and then she ended up keeping it. She went ahead
She
and sent
still
it back.
got it?
Nah, she had sent it back, but I went ahead and
Oh,
sold it.
okay. Okay. That's all right, man.
Yeah.
So now where you are, so it's been 7 years on the journey. You've had the ups and downs, you've had the big plays, you've had
Mm-hmm.
the crash and burn, same as me. We've been there, kind of seasoned now. I would say we're seasoned investors. I would, what I'm saying, not to
Trying to
pat
get there.
ourselves on the
Intermediate, novice to
yeah.
intermediate.
Yeah, we're okay. We're intermediate now, not expert, but we're intermediate. Okay. Uh, that's so funny because anytime I talk to someone and they never seem to bring up L's in investing,
Mm.
trading, whatever you want to call it, I say that's a novice.
Mm.
Novice. Because anyone that ever, if you want to get to like 7 years, bro, okay, I'm taking some smacks to the face.
What?
Like, so,
Lord,
bro,
what
there's
did
been
you?
companies, bro, where I said, oh, this the no-brainer, bro. No,
Mm.
like you said, with Buddy that, or whatever you were that said, oh, yeah, the business model doesn't make sense. But there's been companies where I'm like, oh, it don't matter what nobody tell me. Like, this is the sure thing.
This is great, yeah. This for sure
yeah.
implemented.
So it's good, man. Long journey. Okay, so where are you now in regards to investing and whatnot? Like, what are you looking at? Are there any like what's your thoughts on the market right now, the economy, anything in regards to maybe the political realm? I'm just curious, like, what's your overall outlook with just the whole economy world right now at any sort of level?
Well, economy, yeah. I kind of base a lot of my opinion off of like what's going on with the Dow right now, and like it's already back up at like a high. It's already at I think highs, right? The 31,000, somewhere around
Okay.
there. So it's already rebounding back since like the COVID pandemic hit. And it's just been on a tear, since was it 2008, 2009. So and I don't know what like if this is like still a high point or if this is like it'll continue to go up or whatnot. But it'll still continue to go up, but I don't know whether or not it'll ever pull back. Nobody really knows. So in light of that, I just try to look at like specific sectors that are like on a roll or are currently down. Because if they're down now, they're eventually going to go back up. So there's a few that I've just kind of been monitoring, at a distance. Like to me, in my opinion, the airline industry is a good time to get in because a lot of those stocks are like a third of the price of what their high was. So I mean, I've got into like Spirit Aero Systems, and some other similar airline companies. Spirit's like one of my main ones that I've been just kind of just tracking and looking at. and also just riding the wave of like the marijuana industry. Like, I mean, you've been, talking a lot about that industry as well too. As policy begins to change on marijuana, and more states begin to legalize it, it makes sense that there will be a continued increase in that market. It just makes sense. And I mean, I don't smoke weed. I used to, but anymore I it's not something that I do. But you could just tell they're just like it's like drinking, in my opinion. Everything in moderation, but it's definitely something that people utilize and use. And I think it also be a good thing, the fact that it gets legalized, because it puts away a lot of people in jail, and it's pretty minor offense if you think about it. So that'll free up some money that is going to jails, and I guess the money there's a lot of money that goes into the jail system. Like, there really is.
Correct.
I was
Yes.
reading that in Tony Evans's book Kingdom Man. Like, there's a lot of money and resources that get allocated to them. So like, for a lot of petty offenses, like casual marijuana use, for that to no longer be a reason why we're putting people away, I think that'll free up some I guess some money and some resources. And so it just, I guess, looking at like trying to find where like markets are down, where they have normally been higher. So like airline industry, or just like riding a wave of like an emerging market. Like you had mentioned before, like on a lot of your Stock Tip Tuesdays, the electric vehicle market. There's a lot of different plays that you can make, and taking advantage of the many different businesses and companies that kind of make up that whole market. So like you've shared examples in the charging stations, and then trying to figure out other businesses, or other businesses that can find a little niche within that space. So there's research involved in that as well too. So, but I mean, I haven't really do any like a ton of like extensive research or anything. But a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at is stuff that I've already had some affiliation with prior to. So you have like smaller marijuana companies that have like really took off in like 2018, and just have like done like subsidence since then. So like Tilray, for example, people were buying that at $200, $250, and it was all the way down to $3. It's back up to like $30 now. So it's just like, if people are gonna buy it at $200 before, they'll do it again. You know what I mean? So it's just it's getting in and just like riding the wave of where it's at, and do with what's comfortable with you, and just trying to take advantage of a play. I'm trying to think if there's anything else specific that I'm looking at. But
yeah, no, that's some good insight, man. Really hit it on the head. And one thing that you just mentioned as well is with the different niches within a specific market. It's just so many things. I'm just realizing it's just the prime time. So I'm trying to tell these people, I tell people that's listening, there are these emerging markets, like you said, Drew. Whether it's the EV market. One thing I'm looking at right now is gaming. So there's a few companies, Pin Gaming. Actually, on the I Am Athlete podcast, Fred Taylor, former running back for the Jaguars, talked on an index fund called Hero, HERO. Yeah, that's been snapping. Okay, so I mean, even with the index funds, that's something else to mention, I think, as well. Is you don't have to be a stock picker. You can be someone where, if you're just like, all right, I want to get into EV, or I want to get into cannabis, I want to get into the airline industry, I want to get into XYZ, just specific industries that you want to develop your portfolio around, then you can do that as well. Like you said, Drew, one thing that you mentioned is, I guess, a third contributing factor that I thought of to about one of my initial questions about why don't more people invest is because I also think people are lazy. I think people are lazy. I think people are mentally lazy. We don't want to research. We don't want to learn something new. We don't want to, we don't want to.
It definitely takes time. It can take some of your time. and attention.
It takes time. It takes time, man. I was just thinking, bro, I'm 7 years in, and I think I finally have kind of felt like, okay, I'm confident in my approach towards investing. Like, I'm confident that my investment will yield a return. And it takes a long time, man. You know what I'm saying?
They do. But it's the faithfulness and, like, you know, the perseverance, man, that really yields the fruit.
Yes.
And I love what you mentioned about the ETFs too. ETFs are a great option because you get that exposure to that specific market, but there's a diversification of amongst multiple different companies. You're not all in just one specific stock. You have exposure to many different ones. So, you know, just less volatility. Ooh, that's a good word. Volatility.
Volatility. There you go. Okay, that's a bet. Outside just investing, is there anything that you want to give to the people in regards to finance, whether it's budgeting, whether it's your relationship with money? Like, what has been just anything that you have learned over the last year in regards to money as a whole?
Yeah, honor God with your money. Honor God with your money. Yeah, allow God to use you with your money. And then I think that if you come with, you know, money with that kind of perspective and posture, then, you know, what he can do with it, it's going to be incredible. Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Love it.
So whatever that looks like for you, you know what I mean? Because, like, we all have different relationship, you know what I mean, with God. So, like, whatever that looks like for you, just allow God to, you know, use you with your money.
Yes, I like it. That's good, man. That's a word to me too, man. That's something me and Lou were talking about, is doing more with our finances, being more intentional, you know, with everything that we're doing. So that's solid.
Resource.
Yeah. Last few questions for you. So I know that we also do have some people, whether my clients or others, that have or come into a good amount of money, while they're former athletes. You know, you being someone, you did play in the NFL, you accumulated a decent amount of bread. What would be something that you would say to, say, one of my clients in regards to investing? Well, one thing you want to tell someone that right now, you know what I'm saying, like, they got it. You know, I remember thinking back. Let me tell y'all this story here. This probably be one of the things what I'm probably do after we record this episode is I'm gonna take some, like, little snippets, okay? Some little snippets of the episode. I'm like, okay, that's a good little moment that was caught on the episode, right? And what I'm gonna do though is this is gonna be a snippet right here as I'm about to story tell. I remember there was a time. So Drew, for those that don't know, so Drew was with the Colts, okay? So Drew was with the Colts. Drew ended up tearing his ACL. Drew was on IR. So Drew made a good amount of money over a year. I remember Drew came to, I don't know if this was my birthday weekend or off week or whatever, because you're in Indy. Indy's only 4 hours away, roughly, or so.
Yeah, it's a quick.
Quick little slide. Drew came down to Nashville, and we were at some little bar. Okay, some little bar. This was in my single days. Okay. And I believe, I could be wrong. I believe I was in single days though. But you was up there.
I think you were, yeah.
Yeah. And you were like, I got it, everything. I got everything. You was there the whole night. It was, Drew got it. Drew said he got it. He got it. I said, what, bro? This man Drew know about 50 drinks tonight. Okay. And,
man.
But, you know.
No frugality at all.
No. But you know what I'm saying? You had it though. And I see that even if it's different ways, right? As guys, like, I'm watching, I saw, I think it was like Marshawn Lattimore, I want to say, and he's talking about his first $1 million that he spent. And it was like something that, like, it was like put out. It was like, oh yeah, that's really cool, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at it just from my mindset. And it was, you know, so a few cool things, you know, got his mama house and got this jewelry and these shoes and XYZ, yada, yada. And nothing went towards anything that will create, that is an investment tool that will create wealth. And I saw it and I was like, man, you know, I understand, you know, you want to spend your money, you get it, you know, you finally get it. It's like, oh, I've earned it. Like, I want to do what feels good to me.
Mm-hmm.
How does someone that right now has that, that's getting that check right now, one of my guys, how do they stay out of, looking around at what their teammates are doing or wearing or whatever it might be? How do they stay out of that mindset and understand that they still need to live for the future? How does that mental shift happen? Because society and everything's telling you,
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, spend that bread. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Spend that money here, go here, whatever it could be. How do they stay pure in their thought process or how they're treating money when they have it right now?
That's real. That's a great question too. And money is only like an increase in like money is only going to amplify like whatever your habits currently are, with your relationship with, yourself and like, how you utilize your money. Um, so I would say like to keep out of the mindset of like, hey, I need to keep up with the Joneses or you know what I mean? You know, you just you gotta be, just content with who you are. You know what I mean? You have to be confident in who you are and like just it kind of you got to retract yourself from like the materialistic mindset. And like you shouldn't find, granted, it's nice to have nice things. It is. I don't think there's nothing wrong with having nice things, but if you're finding value, if you're finding that you're looking to nice things to increase the value of yourself, then that's when I think there should be a heart check. You know, because you shouldn't like your identity shouldn't be rooted in what you have. Your identity should be rooted in who you are. You know what I mean? God's loving like child. That's who you should truly believe that you are. So I think if you were founded in that, then you wouldn't be easily led astray to I guess buying up a bunch of different stuff. You know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with having nice things. Don't get me wrong. Like don't get me
Right,
wrong at all.
correct.
But I would say that if you're getting substantial amount of money right now, I would definitely say get an advisor, like get somebody that you truly trust to be in your life and in your ear of like and share with them how you're spending your money and how what I'd say develop also a goal to develop a goal and what you want to do, but allow somebody in that space of how you're utilizing your money, and like that could be somebody that you already know that has a role in like financial advising or something like that, or you can just go to based off of good recommendation, somebody that has got experience and knows how to manage wealth. But definitely allow somebody in that space because it's pretty vulnerable too. You know what I mean? When allowing somebody to like see how you're spending your money and kind of giving somebody that access to begin to speak into your life, and how you should be managing your money. It's very vulnerable, but at the same time, that like vulnerability and transparency is going to turn to like it's gonna be good for you. It really is, factually will. It really will. So I'd say allow somebody in that space to mentor you and allow them to lead you and guide you in that.
Who guides you right now? Who's guiding you? Who's your mentor? Who's
My
around
mentor.
you that's when it comes to finance or anything in that regards?
Well, definitely have the proximity of you guys and the boys and Kellen. Um, I don't have a financial advisor, and I have a very specific memory because just within the past, I'd say
You said you got a specific memory, huh?
I have a very specific memory because I had one of my teammates, it's based off a recommendation. He had somebody like reach out to me. I think it was somebody that was maybe one of his close friends or financial advisor, but he reached out to me. This is when I was still playing at the Colts. And I remember this dude was like super persistent. And I was just like, no, I don't want to have a financial advisor. I don't want to have a family. I don't need that right now. You know what I mean? Cause I was like, I felt um, just having a proximity to you and like Kellen and like, we would talk about money and finances like a decent bit. And I've been trying to, been talking with Kellen about allowing him to just having more conversations. Just because there would have been so much. Oh my gosh, back when in 2017, when I had to like, greater wealth, to actually like set a good amount of money aside and just like, all right, like you do away with this. But since 2018, I didn't really have enough to where I felt like I needed to manage it or have somebody else manage it. But that's beginning to like shift and change now. So going to have to definitely have like a game plan outside of me just handling it myself. And I think a lot of that too just comes from like the experience with like beginning to manage my own funds. So there's still some naivety, but to allow more and more people to have like almost, well, not more people, but maybe one specific person to have that direct access to exactly what I'm doing with my finances. But I'd say I've leaned heavily on you, like Kellen, and like outside of that, not a whole bunch of people.
That's good, man. There's a quote. Some people I think would think it maybe is harsh, but it's true. It's saying if you hang out with 5 people that are accumulating wealth, you yourself are going to accumulate wealth. If you hang out with 5 people that are broke, you're probably going to start being broke. And it's the reality, man. So you got to be around people that are just trying to pursue, a path of excellence or financial stewardship, things of that nature. You don't have to be there. I don't think I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I said, me and Liv was just talking. I said, I'm still dog walking and doing the Uber Eats, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with the grind.
I'm still on the Uber Eats game too, man.
I'm on Uber. So for those that listen, because I've talked about Uber Eats on here plenty of times, Drew actually is the one that got me to sign up for Uber, because you started driving Uber before me. Mm-hmm. And I remember you started talking about it. So yeah, shout out Drew for being the plug on the Uber game. Drew, you mentioned we need to have goals. Earlier when we were talking, you mentioned we need to have goals to reach out towards, seek for, grow towards, whatever you want to call it, whatever description. Mm. Something that we can set in front of us to say, this is what I'm striving for. Mm. For you, first question, why are goals important? Why are goals important? Mm. Secondly, so twofold. 40 to 50 years from now, what is a goal? What is the story, the journey, the whatever that you want to look back on to say this was a success? The time that God gave me in the long run was a success. So first part, why are goals important? Second part, what is that overarching goal for you that drives you?
So first reason why goals are important is because I think I immediately thought of that thing that was shared in The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale. He said he related it to, a ship with a rudder. You know what I mean? A person with a goal is a person that has a ship with a rudder steering it. And a person without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. It's able to go anywhere. You know what I mean? There's nothing steering it. So a goal is going to allow you to set your eyes on something and allow you to continue to have in sight what you're trying to attain. And then you can begin to plan from that. So kind of like a roadmap, you know what I mean? Or a manual. So a goal is very important to attain, anything that you want in life. And the second part of the question, you had asked, what would be successful life for me?
Yeah, 40 or 50 years from now. What is the goal? What is this guy said something? I don't know if it was on our class or something. He said, what is that dash for you? Mm-hmm. When on the, when it's time to go and it's a birth date, death date, what's the rest of that dash look like for you?
Just an influential member of like my community and like family and society. You know what I mean? Like I definitely want to be looked to as like a great husband, a father, and like a leader within, my community and amongst, everything that God has like allowed me to have proximity to influence. I want, like on my tombstone, I want it to be seen as like, like a great like father, great husband, and a great friend. You know what I mean? Like just somebody that could be looked to as like, you know what, like he was somebody that could be relied on. He was somebody that could be held accountable, somebody that took ownership and responsibility of like all that was given to him. So like if people can say that about me, then I would feel like I was a good steward, and like I did everything that I could to just do good in this world.
I like it. I love that, man. That's solid. Solid. Side note, you mentioned a good husband, a good father.
Oh,
you're
still looking.
Still looking. A man is single. Drew, what we talk relationships on the podcast. You still got time, huh? You good? Okay. Yeah, we talk relationships over here on the podcast. What does Mrs. Williamson, what is she like? What is your wife like? What do you envision her to be like? So that way, if there's any women that are watching this, maybe they're watching on the YouTube or IGTV, maybe they're watching, and now they can know if they should hit you up. What is she like?
Miss Williamson, she's gonna have to be. First of all, she's got to be. Her G's got to be pretty tight. She got to know the Lord.
Straight up.
Lord, because she's gonna be raising my kids. So I definitely want that to be the foundation of how we raising them up. So she's, man, just to have a servant's heart, because I'm gonna try to outserve her, honestly. So like if she can meet me halfway with that, then we can build off of that. We can build something with that. And I'm hoping that she's gonna be wise, have some wisdom, smart. Cooking is always a plus. I can cook myself, but that's always nice.
That's funny.
But just definitely just in tune with who she is. Like she's got to know that like God created her on purpose and for a purpose. Ooh,
whoa. God created her on purpose and for a purpose.
Yes.
Get your notebook, put it in the notes, write it down. Okay. That's a gem right there.
She man, she just like she's got to know that we're in this together, and like I'm gonna fight for unity. I'm gonna fight for just faithfulness, everything. And if somebody could just meet me halfway with that, like that's all a man can ask for, man, for real. So if you out there, holla at your boy.
That's funny, man. Okay, solid, bro. Last few questions, man. This is good, Darla. While we're here, for anyone that's listening, do it right now, unless you're driving. Drew, where can they follow you? I know you're on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Yeah. Andthowil, ANDTHOWIL. And I don't really have any other social media platforms. I'm not on the Twitter or the Facebook. I do have Instagram though, which sometimes I'm off, sometimes I'm on. I got a very like
low key with it.
Yeah, man.
Drew, low key with it. Drew, one day we'll get you on here to talk about social media and the mindset and just everything. Have a whole nother discussion.
It's more matters of the heart for me, but it definitely like mindset though too. You know what I mean? I think social media can trip me up sometimes. So it's just something that kind of Lord revealed to me, and I got to be very intentional in how I use it. Because a lot of times I find myself just using me.
We'll have a social media discussion one day.
Yeah, man. I think there's a bunch of talks about like social media and its use, and whether or not it's good for us. It's definitely good, man. Like you can see. I don't know if you saw the commercial on for the Super Bowl, but YouTube, charged people around the world to like make a video of like their life.
I see that.
You saw that? And like they made a compilation like video. And it's supposed to be like really cool. And I think that's something that's really awesome. Like to see somebody like living in like Papua New Guinea or like some like just terrestrial looking, you know, country. You know what I mean?
That boy
You know what I
said,
mean?
that
Like,
boy said terrestrial.
I don't even know. That's probably not even the right word to use. Terrestrial is like on another planet or something like that.
That's funny, bro.
But like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
man.
it's cool. It's like you can see like in, you know, somebody's life from all the way around the world. Like that's really awesome. So
Yes,
definitely a great tool. But you know,
I agree.
definitely something to be used intentionally.
I agree for sure. I agree for sure, bro. It's just like anything else, just like money. It's all about how you use it. Because money can be great, money can be horrible. It can run you, or you can run it. So
Where a man's treasure is, that is where his heart will be also.
facts. That's facts. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think, man. I think that was good. I'm trying to think if I have any other questions.
This was dope. This was awesome.
Yeah, this is really good cool dialogue. Really just wanted to want to get more interviews out. I said, you know, it'd be good to get, because I'm always doing a lot of talking about, it's time to get some more interviews on here. And I said, who better to get on here and chop it up about it? Stock tip Tuesday.
Did we give a stock tip? We
got to give a stock tip. Oh, good question. Yeah, while we're here, Drew, someone that's listening right now that, you know, maybe they got $100, $500, $1,000, whatever it is for them, and they want to add a new company to their portfolio. They'll do their own research. Okay, we are not financial advisors.
Yes, I'm
not financial advisor. Not a financial advisor. So
hard disclosure. Hard disclosure.
Facts. Yeah, you guys your own money, but give me 3 companies.
3.
Yeah, 3 companies that you think someone right now.
So I'll give. Let me see. I'll just state a couple that I got that I'm eyeing.
Okay.
So Boxlight, BOXL.
Boxlight. Okay.
Yeah, it's education technology company. So you know, with a lot of schooling going back to the homes, and you know, just people not like being in a classroom or physical classroom, a lot of stuff is being, you know, technology like using on iPads and whatnot. All that stuff is going digital. So I think this is a company that is in that space, and you know, they've had a pretty high stock price prior, like before, like back in 2018, and since then it's kind of like gone down, but it's beginning to rebound. So looks like it's on an uptick. So I think that could be something that people should be having an eye out for.
You've been on Boxlight since like 2018 at least.
Yeah. So that's something I watch. But that's the thing, man. That's what's the great thing about, you know, experience, and like that's how the market, you know, that's how the market works, and you know,
comes and goes.
It's all about, you know, transiting like in the price, and if something has been in a price before but it's gone down, like you want to buy in when it's down, because eventually it's going to go back up. You know, as long as the company is still, you know, in play, and you know, has like revenue. Well, I mean, I'm not going to get into that.
Right. Got you.
I can't get it. I'm not going to get into that. Man, I like Uber. I think Uber's great. You know,
I'm in there.
Uber everywhere.
I'm in there for sure. Uber's doing starting doing grocery delivery.
Are they really?
Yeah. So is DoorDash though.
Uber has their hand in almost everything. You know, we would have seen.
They said they want to be the Amazon. So they want to. Oh, they were doing some with COVID-19 vaccinations too. They said they want to be the Amazon of car transportation.
They said Amazon $1,000 stock. Of course, I don't think. Well, you never know. And like Uber takes a significant share of your paycheck now.
Mine. Really, yeah, they do about 40%.
Yes. So they're making money off of people, you know. And of course, you know, it's fast. You got the conveniency, and just like being able to turn on the app, and you know, you go out in the search time, you can make, you know, decent money. But Like
Right.
they're making money. Like Uber is definitely making money. So I like Uber.
That's good. That's a good one. I like Uber as well. So I'll definitely keynote that one. Okay.
And
What's one more? What? So here's one. Here's one company. 10 years from now, someone should invest today, set it, forget it. Set it and forget it. No brainer. You will be satisfied with what happens with your money 10 years from now.
I'd say Uber.
Uber is the pick, huh?
Yeah.
Uber's no brainer.
It's still early.
Got me neither. I got
Uber's
buy
only been
more.
around for what, 5 years? Like 4 or 5 years?
I like to buy more, bro.
Long game? Yeah. Uber and like Spirit as well too. So Spirit Aero Systems, just because I read something in some magazine, like a year ago, saying that like India's an emerging economy. Like India's like 2 billion people or 1 billion, something crazy. And I think India, as they're expanding their aero system, I believe they're pretty heavily adopted or in like Spirit Aero Systems. So I like Spirit Aero Systems.
Spirit Aero Systems is also a 10-year play, yes?
Yes.
10 years. Okay.
All airlines.
Today,
yes. Most airline companies, yes. Long term.
Today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. We will come back to this podcast episode on whatever February 9th, 2031. We will compare. Let me see. Spirit Airlines right now. We're actually going to do this. We can do this. We'll do this annually.
Spirit Airlines.
This will be an annual.
In the next year or two, because they're down like I said, a third of what they were. So
this will be an annual day that we will get on here. The Tuesday of whatever this week is. So right now, Spirit's at $31. Okay. Uber.
Wait, Spirit Airlines
Uber.
or Spirit? Because there's two: Spirit Airlines and Spirit Aero Systems. Aero Systems. They make the plane. Spirit Airlines.
Which one are you talking about?
Aero Systems. They make the planes. Yeah, they make the planes.
Spirit Aero Systems is at $39. Excuse me.
Spirit Aero Systems. What was its high? It's like 100, right?
So the high that I see is $99 is what. So you have $100. Okay, so that's good. So boom, I might need to get in there. Spirit Aero Systems $39.83 right now. Okay, let's see Uber right now. I'm in there. Uber's at $59. Okay. Yeah, Uber. I like Uber. I think my average cost in my retirement account for Uber is like $35. So we'll look back on this. We're gonna look back on this. Aero Systems, Uber. We'll look back on it annually to see air stock call. Okay, Drew. 2 questions for you. First, you have a microphone. It's your last message you can give to the world right now. Last message you get to the world right now. Whatever's going on with the world, whatever your thoughts are with whatever. Okay. And the whole world has to hear what Andrew Williamson has to say. What's the message you're giving to the world?
Jesus loves you, and what you do matters. So take that and run with it. I believe I said what you do matters the first time that we had got on as well too. So yeah, same message, man.
What you do matters, and Jesus loves you. Facts. That's facts, man. Okay. Last question I got for you, Drew. So someone, you know what I'm saying, you're 28. Man, we old, bro. Getting there. Yeah.
Body's starting to feel like it too, man. I was out there on that treadmill this morning. Gosh, knees be hurting.
Knees be hurting. Jimmy this morning said, "Dang, Grady, you popping, ain't you?" So I said, "Dang, bro. Yeah, my whole body be But you're 28. You're somewhere in that, I think you've done relatively well, I would say, for the last however many months on the investment side, and just figuring out life, relationship with the Lord, got a community there in Dallas. We just got some good things going for you. Good family, things of that nature. Got some blessings around you.
Appreciate that.
For you right now, what is the one thing that you are the most grateful for?
I'd definitely say family and friends, man. You know what I mean? Because you had like alluded to this, like you're a product of like, the top 5 people you spend, your time with, and family has been foundational for me and friendships. And like I work currently at Forerunner Mentoring program, and it's an amazing after school program. Service kids in the Lake Highlands area of Dallas, and it's like one of the things that like we always say, like what they like kind of hold their organization off of is just like relationships change lives, and they absolutely do. They absolutely do. So I'm not who I am unless I have the people that I have in my life, and I'm super grateful for that. Loving parents, loving family, loving friends. Super grateful for your relationship, bro, and everything I've learned from you and through you, bro. And just everything that you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and it's awesome, man. Just be a part and just pay it forward as well too, man, with others. As we're in proximity with others, we're always sharing things, ideals, perspective, but also just sharing love, man, and just being there to encourage one another. I think that's just a beautiful thing. Like when we can just all come together and unite in that, like that's where growth is. So
that's what it's about, man. That's good, man. Solid, yes, sir. Okay, well,
it's been dope, man. It's been dope.
Yeah, this was good, man. Fruitful discussion as always. Gotta get you on here more. Yeah, definitely gotta get you on here, chop it up more. But for those listening, this is my guy, Andrew Williamson. And if you listen to this episode, if you got any fruit from this discussion, if you feel like you are wiser, better off right now, if you are an inch closer to the vision, the dream, whatever that is, please give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, one of those things. That would really help. What would really help would be a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. One of those would be great, or YouTube, whatever they got on there. Yeah, all the things, man. We really appreciate the support. But yeah, this is Joshua Gray here, Agent Talk Podcast, and with Andrew Williamson. Stock Tip Tuesday. We out of there.
Love you, bro. We'll holler at you.
Love you, dog.